Hi, third grade. It's Mrs. D'Amico. Today we're going to begin Unit 2 of Level 3 Fundations. So let's get started right away with our drill sounds warm up. Ready to repeat? A, apple, ah. A, squash, ah. A, wash, ah. E, ed, eh. I, itch, I. O, octopus, ah. U, up, ah. G, game, g. CH, chin, ch. CK, sock, k. And TCH, catch, ch. Nice work. Okay, now look on your screen and you will see two words that I have built. The first word is block, block. And the second word there is bug, bug. So we have block and we have bug. Those are two nouns. Remember in grammar, we already looked at the part of speech called a noun, which is a person, place, or thing. These two nouns happen to name, what do you think? Both of them name a person? No. A place? Nope. They're both things. Right. And I'm curious to see, right now, this is talking about one block and one bug. Those are singular. Do we remember what it means to be plural? For a noun to be plural, right, it means that there is more than one of them. Okay, so I'm curious, what suffix, you might see these suffix frames, those are new in Unit 2, over here on the right-hand side. What suffix would we have to add to block in order to make it plural? Do you remember? Right. Hopefully you're saying just this one right here. So it becomes, oh, we got to scooch it over. It's covering up our digraph. There, that looks good. So block is what we called our base word. And this S is called our suffix, right? Same with bug. Right now it's singular. To make it plural, we're going to use our S suffix to make it bugs. And again, bug is called our what? Base word. And S is called our suffix. Very good. The suffix S makes the words plural. This means there's now more than one block and more than one bug. Now, when you tap a word that might have a suffix, we only tap the base word. So, for example, for this word, we only tap b, u, a, k, block, and then you add this when you say it, blocks. Okay? Now, let's look at this one. We already added the suffix s to make it plural, but when we tap it, b, g, bugs, bugs. Do you notice what sound the S makes when it's on the end of bug? Right, it kind of says like the Z sound, doesn't it? And for blocks, it sounds like the S sound. Very good. Now go ahead and look at the third word that I put up on the screen and get ready to tap that one with me. Ready? B, e, n, ch. Bench. Okay, does this fit our category? Is it a noun? Yes. And is it a thing? Yes, it is. Now, right now, it's one bench. It's singular. How can we make it plural? Think about this one. Are we just going to add the S suffix to bench? No. Good. Remember, we're going to add this suffix to the end, the ES suffix. So it says bench is, benches. It actually sounds like IZ, benches, doesn't it? Very good. So now you should know that sometimes to make a word plural or a noun plural, you simply add the S ending, like in blocks or bugs. And it might sound like an S and it might sound like a Z. But there are other times, boys and girls, when you need to add the ES suffix to make a noun plural, like in bench is. It actually depends on what your noun ends with, what your base word ends with, to determine do I put an S or do I put an ES suffix to make it plural. So right now, bench ends with that digraph CH. So CH, if your base word ends with CH, we better add an ES suffix, right? Do you remember the other letters? If a base word ends in other letters, you would use ES. We already said CH. There's another digraph, and that is SH. Think of the word wish. If you wanted to make wishes, you would have to use that ES. So if a base word ends with CH or SH, you add ES. What about the base word fox? What if we wanted to say the foxes in the den, right? So if your base word ends with X, you also have to add the ES suffix. What about the word, let me think. Buzz. The buzzes in the air. So if it ends with a Z, you also have to add ES. And the last one that you need to remember is if your base word ends with an S, like buses, right? Or dresses. Okay, so let's see if we can remember all of those endings. If it ends with an S, an X, a Z, a CH, or an SH. It's a lot to remember. You're going to add the ES suffix to make it plural. Okay, so here in front of you now, I have the noun boss. A boss is actually a person. So you should remember that we actually use a bonus letter here because if it's a one-syllable word and the letters, here are our bonus letters, F, L, or S, right, comes after the short vowel, then you double it usually, like in boss. So if I wanted to make boss plural, it ends with that S. Do you remember what we just said? Which suffix? ES or another S? We don't want to triple the S's. We want to add the suffix ES. So it says bosses. Scooch it over so we can see the whole thing. There we go. Nice work. Okay, now I have a new noun, actually. We have the noun box. Right now it's singular. How do I make it plural? The base word ends with an X. So do I add an S or an ES? How do I make it plural? Boxes. Right, I need that ES again. So remember, if it ends with an S or an X, add ES. Great job. Okay, I have a third word for you. Here I have the word buzz. And remember, sometimes F, L, and S are bonus letters, but also sometimes Z, like in the word buzz. So if I wanted to make that plural, what would I do? Add an S suffix or ES? Buzzes, right? I would need the ES again. So now look, S, X, or Z, if it ends with, then you add ES to make it plural. Okay, check out my new word. It is lunch, right? If we had to bring all of our, what's the plural? Lunches, right? We have to add the ES suffix. So don't forget, if a base word ends with CH, you also have to add ES. Great work. Okay, I have another word up here. The word is dish. I wish I only ever had to wash one dish, but how do we make it plural? I usually have to wash all of the dish is. Right. So CH and SH, we need the ES. Okay. Okay, and here's the last example here. My word is which, which. That's a sound-alike word. And we should know now that WITCH is a female who has those magical or evil powers. Right now it's one witch, it's singular. How do I make it plural? Which is, again, we use that ES suffix. Very good. So look at these endings of the base words. CH, SH, even TCH. If it ends with that, add the ES suffix. Okay, earlier we had this word bench, and you told me that to make it plural, we had to add the ES suffix because the base word ends with that digraph CH. So it will say benches, right? Now I want to quickly review with you how if you spell a word with a suffix in the future, it's good to notice the difference between the base word and the suffix. So, whenever you spell a word in the future that might have a suffix on the end, it's important to underline the base word, circle the suffix. Okay? I just wanted to remind you of that. Now, look at this word on the screen. This word is fish, fish. Now, I have to tell you, there are some irregular plurals, which mean they don't follow those rules. So think, if you want to say there are many fish in the ocean, we don't say fishes. So we would not add this suffix, right? We don't say fishes. Okay, that's because fish is an irregular noun. Okay, third grade, besides fish, because fish is both singular and plural, I have another irregular word here. This word is half. Like I ate half the pizza last night for dinner. If we wanted to make this word plural, we're not just going to add an S. It's not going to say halves. No. Just like with leaf, we don't say leafs, or knife, we don't say knifes. When these words, base words, end with an F sound, it does something different to the plural. Do you remember? I'm going to start building the plural over here. The F actually becomes a V. Yes, the F becomes, here it is, a V. So we wouldn't say halves. We would say, let's try again, halves. Now, what am I going to add here? I actually need the ES suffix for halves, right? Okay, and just like leaf becomes leaves. So that F becomes VES in the plural. Okay, here's another noun. This noun is wolf. Say it. Wolf. This is one singular wolf. Now let's think back. It ends with that F, right? So it's not just going to be woofs. We're not just going to add an S. Do you remember on our last example what we did? Right, we changed it to wolves. So it starts the same, WOL, that'll stay, okay? But that F has to become a V, and then, come on, there we go. And then we add the ES suffix, wolves, okay? Good work. Now, third grade, some nouns are so irregular that you don't even add an S or an ES at all to the end. Think about the word man. You don't say there were many mans at the meeting. You would say, do you know? Right, there were many men. So notice that one is completely irregular. It does not follow the rules of plurals. Okay, man becomes men. Okay, I have another noun here that is completely irregular. When you're talking about one woman, it is WOMAN. But when you went to make that one plural, do you know what happens? We don't say womans. We say get rid of this and change it into that. Just like man becomes men, woman becomes woman. Okay, so it would become WOMEN in the plural. And here's the last example for today of words that are irregular when you make them plural. This word is singular right now. It says child. The child was tired. But if you're talking about multiple of them and you want to make it plural, we don't just say childs. Do you know what the plural is? We say the children. Completely irregular. We add an REN there for children. We're tired. Before we go on to learn a few more of our cursive letters, we're going to learn 3 more cursive letters today. You need to get out your student notebook and follow these directions very carefully. Now, I apologize, boys and girls, because I do not have my student notebook at home to share with you today, but I can tell you the directions so that you can go ahead in yours and add these things to it. Okay, so today during Fundations, we talked a lot about plurals. So in your Castle student notebook, you're going to first flip to the spelling section. You know how your notebook was organized. There are some pages on the side that say spelling. And see if you can find in your spelling section the base word suffix rules. Again, the base word suffix rules, where it tells you about adding S versus adding ES to the end of a word to make it plural. Okay? You're going to review those rules there for base word and suffix. Okay? And add some examples. Like maybe you want to add box is needs an ES, right? Or bench is needs an ES. Maybe you could even go back on this video and rewind a little bit and see what some of those plurals that we built today were. Blocks, though, only needs an S. So those are some ideas of examples that you could add on that page in your notebook. Then you're going to go and find in the spelling section the irregular plural page. Okay, and the words that you need to add on the irregular plural page are the ones that we built in the lesson, like halves with VES on the end, and wolves with VES, and men instead of man, and women with that MEN ending for women, more than one, and children, and fish, because remember we said fish is singular and fish is already plural. Those are all the irregular plural nouns that we talked about. So you can add those examples on the irregular plural page in your spelling section of your notebook. And again, if you need to see those words, we did all of those words in today's lesson. You can always go back and rewind and see how those words are built and spelled. Okay. Lastly, before we move on to cursive, you're going to go into the trick word dictionary in the back of your notebooks, and I would like you to add 3 new words. So in your trick word section, if you would go to the H, remember it's arranged alphabetically. When you go to the H section, I want you to add that trick word halves. Say it. Halves. Right, that's a plural that we learned today. 1 half or many halves. So make sure you spell it right in that section. It's Halves for halves. Good. And then there are two more words that we want to add to your trick word section in your student notebook. So find the W section, and we're going to add wolves first. That's another plural. So find the W's, and here we go. Wolves. Wolves. Right. And then actually, right below wolves, we're going to add the next plural, which is women. Women is the plural. Okay, so once you have all of that updated into your book, you will be caught up for today's lesson. And now we'll go ahead and learn our 3 new letters in cursive. Okay, third grade, in Unit 1, we were introduced to all of the loop letters. So if you remember, they were lowercase l, e, h, and then b and k, and I'm missing one off the top of my head. H, B, K. Oh, I know the other loop letter, F. Okay, so we did 6 loop letters in Unit 1. And in Unit 2, we're going to start the next kind of cursive letters, which are called the up-down letters. And the reason they're called up-down letters, you'll see here in a minute, is because in order to make these letters, you have to go up and trace back down the same line. Okay, that's why they're called up down. You have to go up and trace back down on the same line in order to form them. So the first up down lowercase letter that we are going to learn is the letter I. Okay, so let me go to the lowercase letter I, and I'll move my face so that you can see how it's made. There we go. All right, go ahead and listen. Lowercase I. Remember, you can do it in the sky to practice first before you do it on paper.
I is an up-down letter. It starts on the grass line. Point to the grass line. Glide up to the plane line. Trace down to the grass line and make a tail. Add a dot.
Okay, that one was lowercase I. So you can always go back and rewind this video in order to see it again and again. But now I'm going to show you the next up-down letter, which is lowercase j.
J is an up-down letter. It starts on the grass line. Point to the grass line. Glide up to the plane line. Go all the way down to the worm line. Loop back up to the grass line and make a tail. Add a dot.
Okay, that one had a dot as well. I and J both are up-down letters and they have a dot. So again, always go back and rewind the video and play it back if you need extra practice with that. But I'm going to now introduce you to our final lowercase letter of the day, which is lowercase p, another up-down letter. Let's watch.
P is an up-down letter. It starts on the grass line. Point to the grass line. Glide up to the plane line. Go all the way down to the worm line. Trace up to the plane line, make a big belly, and make a tail.
All right, third grade, you did awesome. I will see you next time. Keep practicing.